Today on the Statesman's table, the House passes two bombshell bills that enlarge and strengthen ties with Israel, and one that orders that Trump pull all troops out of Iran.
Jasmine Crockett says something retarded again.
The U.S. enters a landmark nuclear deal with a Middle Eastern superpower.
Christopher Nolan's Odyssey sparks a civil war amongst conservatives.
It looks like the Iran conflict will nearly cost $40 billion.
And finally, New Jersey admits to election fraud.
Welcome to the Statesman's Table.
So let's start with the House bills. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. The first House bill that I want to talk about is the one that just passed this morning. And this is H. Con Res 89. And it's the House's condemnation of the Iran war. So in effect, if it was to pass in the Senate, it would direct President Trump, it would force him to pull all troops and military engagement out of Iran. So what do you think? What do you think about this? What do you think about the four conservatives that voted against the Republicans in this instant? And what does this mean for the future of the Congress and this war moving forward?
So yeah, at this point, I'm convinced that going into Iran was a mistake. However, I think coming out of Iran would be a much bigger mistake because historically, U.S. military intervention has made a lot bigger problems by leaving than joining in. That might be a controversial take, but things like Afghanistan was a much bigger failure than, say, going into Iraq, in my opinion. Or leaving Vietnam was a bigger deal than entering it.
So do you think that it would have been a better idea to take the colonialism route? Because if we would have colonized these, because it's either, we've done what we did in the past, where we overthrow governments and we institute our own government, and then it kind of devolves into a guerrilla, terrorist organization, or we take the British Empire route. And it seems like things went pretty fine for them for a long time with the colonial route. So should we have just colonized Vietnam and Afghanistan and all Libya and all these different places?
I'm not sure about the term colonize, but I think we needed a more thorough victory.
Yeah.
I think once we're into places like this, victory is the most important.
So total domination would be
achieving our goals.
Yep.
Achieving our goals without creating bigger problems in the future. So for Iran, it would be opening the Strait of Hormuz and making sure Iran never develops a nuclear weapon without breeding a bunch of terrorists. If we can't do that without breeding a bunch of terrorists, maybe turn the country into a parking lot, maybe colonize
I think
it.
That's impossible at this point. I think that right now, we've already bombed them so much. And you could even see this in the protests about when the funeral of Khomeini happened. It doesn't seem like I think our general thought was that, hey, we're going to wipe out all the Iranian leaders and the Iranian people are going to back us. I think the exact opposite's happened. I think this is what happens is that we think we're going to go in here and kill people's leadership that we don't like. And all of the people are just going to wrap around us, the foreigner. I think time and time again, we've seen that this doesn't work. And the full detriments of what we have done are going to be seen in the next 20 years.
Yeah, I completely agree, but I think that's a matter of propaganda skills. I think we need to be better at foreign propaganda.
Well, think about this. The number one sponsor of state terrorism, we just breeded at least 3 million more terrorists in that nation.
I mean, if we could topple their government entirely, not necessarily.
I think that it would take us having to completely colonize Iran in order for, you would have to have a military presence. You'd have to hold a country of 100 million people under for way longer in order to
But our objective isn't to conquer Iran. It's to open the Strait of Hormuz. What I think a much more viable solution would be colonizing the territory around the Strait of Hormuz, and then leaving a military presence there to let them know that we can come back.
But how long until those bases are eventually attacked and destroyed?
Well, so I think that goes into the other House bill. We can strengthen our ties with Israel and let them test out weapons, let them research, develop, and we let very little cost us.
Why don't we just pull all of our soldiers and let Israel colonize like how they like to colonize Gaza and the West Bank?
I'd be okay with that because it would achieve our objectives. I think
it would achieve our objectives, but this doesn't happen. We always have to expend our own troops. We have to expend our technology and our money on behalf of other nations.
Right. It is a matter of practicality.
Yes.
But it's still, we have the power to hold the area if we truly committed to it.
Yes.
It's a matter of commitment, and it's a matter of pros and cons. And right now, I think if we commit enough, victory is still achievable.
And that's where
it just takes time, money, and
that's where
energy.
this newly passed House bill comes into effect, because I don't think that we'll ever get this full commitment. I mean, as we can
Sure.
see, we have a Republican majority in both the Senate and the House, and the House just allowed this bill to pass that fully condemns and pulls troops out of Iran. And going into the midterms with this being the least popular war, I could see. I mean, it may not be as bad, but I think some seats will flip to Democrats.
Yeah, I think that's
It won't. I just see some people saying, 11 seats we're going to turn in the House, and like 5 we're going to turn in the Senate. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think it may be like 6-3, but still, that's if Democrats are able to win majorities right now, we could see something like this happen that forces Donald Trump to pull troops out of Iran after if this war is not resolved by the midterms.
Yeah, I think midterms are just a matter of how the distance between the latest Iran headline and the election day.
Yeah.
I think that's what the midterms are going to come down to, and who wins the House and Senate if we can get something resolved by then. That's completely right.
If it gets resolved then there's no harm, no foul. I mean, obviously, we probably wouldn't like to see Democrats in power, but I mean, this is how every midterm has went since forever. So I mean, I mean,
for like maybe 20 years,
for like the last 12 midterms, this is what's happened. So I mean, we couldn't expect it much. I think the Republicans have a better shot this year because of the gerrymandering. But what do you think about Republicans' move to label all Democrats as socialists or communists? Because I feel like that is the Republican strategy going forward into the midterms.
Right, and I think there are several layers to it. One, it's completely true. It's completely true. Most Democrats at this point are socialists or communists or some weird combination, maybe anarchists.
Yeah.
There's a radical wing of the Democrat Party that has so much control, but I don't think the messaging is effective, because I think socialism is pretty popular with young people because it sounds really good.
Well, I think not many people know the distinction between socialism and communism. So the United States already has socialist programs in effect. We have Social Security, we have welfare.
Right.
But I think if we start labeling everybody as a socialist, people will start embracing this title. Eventually.
I think it's like the fascist messaging that Democrats have tried for Republicans and Trump, and like you just saw a rise of fascist political commentators like Nick Fuentes or people like him. And while they might not be fascist, they like embrace the label. They're like, I've been called a fascist. I don't care.
Yeah.
I kind of think it's funny. In high school, the only time I ever got called to the office.
So do we think that this rhetoric, especially with like more and more young people thinking that, hey, like I can't afford a house or I can't afford a car, like capitalism isn't working, and because you're saying, hey man, this is not working, we need some changes, and if you're automatically labeled a communist, does that not make you want to say, hey, if everyone's gonna call me a communist, I might as well be a communist? And then this might stir more resentment. And I think that overall for the party, this is a bad look going into midterms. I think that we should it should be, instead of just labeling them as being communist, we should show why our ideas are better than theirs, and why we can we can make prices cheaper. With the war still going on, that's not gonna be effective. But I think the Republicans are in a bad situation right now. But with the way that the Supreme Court has rendered, and with the way that gerrymandering has been going on, I think we have a better shot in recent years.
Yeah, I think the messaging of communist socialists just isn't that effective. I don't think it's going to make people more radical, because calling conservatives fascist hasn't made us fascist. We just don't care about the label anymore. And I think it's the same thing that's going to happen.
But are Democrats not more like prone to going radical? Like, I mean,
I don't necessarily agree with that. I just agree with right wing. I agree with my side of the political spectrum, and so, I mean, from a Democrat perspective, I'm relatively extreme, just like they would be to me.
Yeah.
So It's not a matter of more prone to be radical. It's their radical is bad.
Mm.
Our radical can be bad. Sometimes. Not often. Not often. Very, very rarely.
Very rarely.
Do you see the picture of the white supremacist on the bus with the black lady? Black lady completely safe.
I didn't see this. I didn't see this picture.
You didn't see this
no,
at all?
I didn't see this.
It was fun. She was safer on a bus with a white supremacist than one white girl was with one black man on a very similar bus. Oh, it's you. Okay, I have to find it for you. You should keep talking so we don't have to edit this out.
Well, I mean, most whites. I mean, I know we've always had, like, in movies and TVs, it's always like these white supremacist people are the violent. They're the violent people that are going to come and kill you and stuff. But in reality, I mean, I don't see that many white supremacist attacks out in the. I mean, I don't see random people getting, like, random black people just getting stabbed or shot by white people. I mean, obviously the ones that do happen by police or something are extremely, like, blown up by the media. But if we look on black on white crime, it's 2 or 3 times higher than white on black crime. And so I just think that white people inherently are less prone to committing, like, in today's world, these acts of racial hate and these hate crimes and stuff. Listen, let me see
Here
this
it
picture.
is. So it's this chilling photo of a young black woman surrounded by white supremacists.
I like how they say Patriot Front thugs surround her. Thugs.
She's just peacefully on the bus. Earlier that day, she was pooping in public. Like,
I mean, I don't see anybody berating her or threatening to punch her or kick her. I mean, if I was to go to, I mean, have you seen the Black Israelites?
No, I haven't.
Have you seen this? These are people who think that they are like God's chosen. They are the Jews.
Oh no, I have seen.
Yes.
I've seen, like, reels of them talking with people,
and these people are, like, funny. Extremely violent to anybody who opposes them.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that?
I haven't seen that.
They're extremely violent, and it's because their points aren't legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to make points through violence in a peaceful scenario, your points cannot be legitimate.
Okay, it's sounding like you're saying white supremacists have legitimate points because they're not making them through violence right now. That's not what you mean.
I mean,
clarify to the camera.
Clarify what exactly?
You're not saying white supremacists have legitimate points. We are not white supremacists.
I mean, white supremacists do have legitimate points.
Not about the white supremacist mindset. The white supremacist ideology, though. Their legitimate points are about immigration or other social things.
Well, I'm saying, like, white supremacists right now are not as ideologically captured, and, like, there's not. I mean, if you look at the white supremacist movement, I don't see very many people who are calling for genocide, like, at all.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I just see people who are, the main points are, hey, can we stop immigration, and can we get back to a Christian identity, a white Christian identity, which is what the United States was founded upon. And so, like, these ideas aren't being enforced with violence. You know, if I don't believe that I'm not shunned in public, I'm not kicked, I'm not sprayed with pepper spray, I'm not, like, threatened, like, I don't get death threats. And it's, like, quite the opposite with any other thing. Yeah. Like, if I was to go on, I mean, like, say, like, 2 years ago or a couple years ago when Roe v. Wade got overturned, if I said, hey, abortion's wrong on, like, Twitter, I would probably get death threats. Like, you would most likely get death threats, and people try, like, or, like, even when cancel culture was at its highest, you know, if you said, like, you know, BLM is wrong, like, they're not standing for the right thing, like, you would get doxxed. Yeah. These points are enforced through violence.
Yeah, I remember when BLM was this big thing in the 2020s, it was a big deal for me to make the distinction, like, BLM, the organization, is awful, terrible, I hate everything they stand for, but, like, the phrase is fine. No. I was treated like I was awful, like I was racist.
Well, the organization was like a cover-up.
Yeah, they were. It was embezzling a bunch of money.
Yeah, it was a money laundering,
funding riots. Like,
of course,
like when they weren't lining their own pocket, they were burning down cities. And
but Black lives do matter, just like every other life matters. Right. And, like, I don't have a problem with them going out and protesting because someone was killed, but I do have a problem with them looting and, like, using this as a pretext to go and destroy cities.
Right.
That's completely different. That's completely like, separate from the fact that, hey, I don't like seeing a policeman kill another black man. Like, that's different. Like, I don't like to see that either. But going and killing other people because of it is childish and immature.
Moving on to childish and immature, Jasmine Crocket. I mean, she's said some retarded things in her tenure in Congress, but like I feel like every day she just tops herself a little bit.
Yeah, yesterday, for some reason, in whatever congressional committee they were in, she was talking to somebody about the World Cup, and she was saying, like, why is everybody rooting against Argentina?
Right.
And she said that it had to be because Argentina was like built on a racist culture. And to me, that just doesn't make any sense because people are not watching Argentina because they know the history of Argentina. They're watching Argentina because Lionel Messi, the best player in the entire world, plays for Argentina in the final. And if people either love him or hate him. People either like him or they like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Right.
I think Cristiano Ronaldo has way more fans, and so that's why I see everybody rooting for Spain. And so inherently, to call these people like racist, or if you didn't root against Argentina, that was racist, just doesn't make any sense to me. It just sounds like another piece of race baiting, another clip. Congressman clip farming again, just to get views in their hometown. Like,
do you think she's clip farming, or do you think she's actually this stupid? Because I don't know. I'm on the fence.
Okay, in order for you to get to Congress, you do have to have some common sense and be smart.
Do you?
I think that you at least have to have enough savvy in order to know how to BS people. And so I think I can tell. I think she's race baiting. I think 1,000% she's clip farming, because I don't know why else you would come in and say this in a congressional hearing. Unless this is what we were talking about earlier. Like, the presence of cameras in Congress has made everyone gets their allotted time on the mic.
Yeah.
They want to say something that's going to get clipped and that's going to get on national media because they get more exposure, even if it's good or bad. More exposure is the name of the game right now. And so having the cameras inherently incentivize congressmen to just say wild and crazy things, or to be the most progressive or the most conservative, or to look back at their constituents and be like, hey, I'm furthering your interest, or I'm like,
right.
Jasmine Crocket, she's obviously, is she from Houston? Is that correct?
Somewhere in Texas.
Yeah, I know.
So I would assume a city.
I would assume she's probably from like somewhere in the inner city. And saying something like that does appeal to her constituents. They're gonna be like, yeah, that's
of course it's
racism. She's pointing out the racism in the World Cup. Good on her. That's gonna get her reelected. But to everybody else, they're like, what are you saying? This is stupid.
There's no way her voters believe it's racism. Like,
there are a lot of uninformed people who will just listen to whatever and say, yeah, probably. I mean, everything's racist.
You think her voters are only listening to her for her news?
I mean, now that she's on the news, because here's the thing, she put herself on the news by doing that,
right?
And her voters are people who voted for her are probably going to be like, yeah, go get them. I mean, seriously,
calling out racism.
I mean, if you voted for her in the first place, you would probably think you would probably believe what she's saying, anyways.
Yeah, it could just be a matter of name recognition. Like, they see the name, they know the name, they know they've seen name before, so they vote for name. I question how she got in power. It was one, like, when John Fetterman won, the guy who had a stroke, it was kind of shocking. And then, like, Jasmine Crocket also, like, I think she has said dumber things than the guy whose brain doesn't work.
That's probably pretty true. You know who also says pretty stupid things? Randy Fine of Florida.
Okay, where are you going?
He is one of the worst congressmen I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm not familiar with him.
You don't know him?
Mm-mm.
He is so ideologically captured based on one point only.
Okay.
In his support of Israel.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't know. I've seen some quotes by him. Let me see if I can find this.
Is he a Republican?
Yes, he's called for like.
Oh, I'll defend him. Okay.
He's called for like the
I think you're misrepresenting him.
Like nukes in Gaza.
Oh, I've seen these clips.
Yeah, he's like the really fat guy.
Yeah,
the really fat guy.
Yeah, his takes are kind of indefensible. I don't, as much as I'd like to. Again, we were talking about how the extreme right can also get a little kooky. Not near as bad. Not near as bad.
No, but I'm just saying,
I'd vote for him over Jasmine Crocket.
These congressmen, not all of them, we shouldn't like hold them on this high standard of them being like the greatest. These are our best. These are our best individuals.
We should try.
But when you have people like Jasmine Crocket, Fetterman,
yeah, you got to vote them out so they are the cream of the crop. You know?
Yeah,
like also, that'd be the goal.
It does take these kind of people, like the people who probably would do the best job, be the most impartial in Congress, don't run for Congress. They want to go home to their wife and kids every day. They want to go mow the lawn. They want to have a nice job and a nice family, a nice house. It does take a certain kind of person to go, hey, I'm going to run for office.
Mm-hmm.
And so you do get these people who say the craziest thing, are two-faced, who lie all the time. And that's just kind of what a representative republic breeds, because it ends up breeding people who appeal to the most people, who are the loudest. Who are the loudest, who are the most narcissistic.
Do you think social media can help combat this, though? Because people who would have, in not so distant history, gone for office or gone to Hollywood or something to get attention and fame, are just going to social media now for it. Do you think that could quench the thirsts of some narcissists that would otherwise get in power because they need to run?
I feel like it could a little bit, but it depends on where their base interest lies. Because I feel like you need a certain base interest of power in order to want to run for politics. And once you excel at the highest levels of politics, you would need this need for power already. Because if not, if you're just like, hey, I want to get famous, I'm going to go do some TikTok dances, or I'm going to do food reviews, or I'm going to do movie reviews, something like that. You don't have to. It takes somebody to be like, no, I'm going to go put myself out there, and I'm going to. I mean,
so you think the kind of personality that wants to run for any kind of office is a personality that's inherently egotistical?
I think you have to be in order to win.
Okay.
I think.
Remind me if I'm mistaken, but we've had a conversation before where you said someday you'd like to run for office.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure.
No, I know this because I am.
Yeah, I'm one of the people. I
understand this. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
I look in a mirror every day. Driving's pretty difficult because mirrors right.
Here's the thing. How are you going to win if you don't want to see yourself win and you don't have this drive to just want to win? I don't believe that you can win without that.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, because it's such a competitive environment, it breeds the most competitive, the most power hungry.
But there are people who are competitive for noble reasons.
Yes, there are people who are good at Congress.
There's not many.
There's not many. Not in today's world. And it would be nice to see more regular people go and try to run for office. I just don't think that they have the gall to go out and purposely lie to people.
You think? I don't think the best politicians are liars. I think the best politicians
are good liars.
No, I think the best politicians are good at presenting the truth in dishonest ways. And I don't think that's the same thing. I think the best of politicians, the most successful, the ones who get the most funding, most votes, I don't think they lie.
Okay.
I think they tell you things that are entirely true, just how they want them to be perceived.
In a way that the voting public would like to hear them.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes someone really good at politics, because people get caught in lies and that ruins them.
Yeah.
So even if you're the best liar, someone can find out. If you're not lying, no one can catch you for lying.
If you have this, what do they call it in the legal field?
I don't know. You're the one going to be a lawyer.
It's something with the P. It's like you have protection from something because you said it in a certain way.
Oh, exposure.
Exposure. They say things that limit their exposure, even if they do mean something and they're spinning it. They can be like, "Well, that's not what I said.
Yeah,
that is literally not what I said." You can look at the transcript. That's not what I said. And they're like, "Oh, but you said in this tone," and they're like, "Well, that's not what I said." So if you have this protection, which is, I think, the best politicians probably have the best screenwriters or the best ghostwriters who've been doing those. Those people are actually the really talented people. People who write all these politicians' speeches, because there's no way, and Donald Trump doesn't go and
whoever told Jasmine Crocket to say that rooting against Argentina is racist, that's the real talent.
No, she needs to lose her job. She needs to lose her job. That would
Are you assuming it's a woman?
probably. I mean,
Why do you say that?
Who else would say something like that? I mean, Jasmine Crockett said it herself. I don't think that you would get. I mean, Representative Womack wouldn't go and say that. I don't even think John Fetterman would even go say that, even if you believe that.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't think so. He's one of the more conservative liberals.
Yeah, as his brain has regained function, he's gotten more and more conservative. Mm-hmm. That's been a fun trend to watch.
So what's our next point?
So the U.S. has entered a landmark nuclear deal with a Middle Eastern superpower, Saudi Arabia.
Okay. So
we've been fighting this war to keep Iran from getting their hands on anything nuclear, and we're just going to give it to Saudi Arabia. What's your take?
I feel like that this green lights other Middle Eastern countries to keep on pursuing nuclear weapons, because even if, I mean, most especially Saudi Arabia, because
the deal with Saudi Arabia is for energy. It's not for weapons.
Well, there's stipulations against the proliferation of nuclear energy for weapons, but this only lasts for 10 years.
Right.
These stipulations only last for
10 years. They shouldn't be pursuing nuclear weapons.
They shouldn't be. But after that, the U.S. has these facilities will already be built. Mm-hmm. And the United States has a strong enough alliance with Saudi Arabia that I don't see them trying to invade Saudi Arabia even if they do start nuclear proliferation. But I think that this okay. You're a Middle Eastern country. Saudi Arabia is not well liked by any other Middle Eastern country because they ally with Israel the most. Mm-hmm. So you're another Middle Eastern country, and you see that Saudi Arabia is getting nukes. I'm going to go reach out to Russia and China. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to see if they can hook me up with nuclear material and nuclear energy. So I think that right now, this is going to be fine for the next year. But I think in the future, this was a blunder. I think we probably shouldn't have done this because this is just going to open the door for Russia and China to go and move into Afghanistan, Iraq, because all these other nations are going to be like, okay, well, if Saudi Arabia has nukes now, or if they have the capability to enrich to nuclear capabilities, we need that capability too, because who else is Saudi Arabia going to use it on? Their enemies.
Right, but other Middle Eastern countries don't have the same infrastructure as Saudi Arabia. Like, there's Saudi Arabia, the UAE, maybe Israel have the infrastructure and business and capabilities to sustain such a...
But does that not give these other nations more of an incentive to go say, hey, Russia, China, start investing here?
Right, but it costs Russia and China a lot more than it costs us. And Russia is in no position to be funding someone else. China might be, but I'm skeptical that they would, because it would cost them more. And
well, China's actually already working on Africa, so
right.
We may have. I mean, it just depends. They're like, well, the upside is in Africa right now, and we've already lost that. I don't think that we have much influence in Africa as much as China does. China is excelling in that market.
That's absolutely true.
But if they could get a bigger foothold in the Middle East, I think they would take the opportunity to at least have something. Like, if
you don't think it would just lead to a proxy war? Because I think it almost definitely would.
I think that this is what it's gonna end up being. I think a proxy war is gonna end up being fought over this. I mean, have you seen the proxy war that's about to happen?
What are you referring to?
So the Houthis closed or are trying to close the strait that leads to the Red Sea. Mm-hmm. And I think if that starts affecting Israel's oil, Israel actually has an air base in Somaliland, which is technically not a state. I think they're going to try to bomb all of Yemen. They're going to bomb all of Yemen if that actually if that blockade goes into effect, because then not only will the Strait of Hormuz be blocked, but another key strategic point will be blocked that will block off the world's oil.
Right. Yeah, this probably does lead to a proxy war.
I think because Yemen and Saudi Arabia do not like each other either.
Right.
They don't like each other either.
I mean, no one in the Middle East likes each other.
No. But if we see more and more conflict, the fact that if even if this prolongs and Saudi Arabia does end up saying, okay, well, things are scared, like we need nuclear weapons, this is only going to get worse. This is the start of something that might turn into something worse.
But do you think the U.S. getting involved early could strengthen our position in something that's already getting worse?
Short term.
Not long term?
I think short term.
You don't think this... Sorry.
Short term, it ends up benefiting American businesses to come in and build these facilities, and it helps the U.S. economy. But once this 10-year stipulations are over and we're hands off, we have no more negotiating. Like, we have no more negotiating room.
Okay.
It's almost like the same deal. It's like, okay, well, we have another nuclear state in the Middle East. And if Saudi Arabia wants to go, yeah, screw you guys. What can we really do? That's why I'm saying, like, the stipulations in this agreement, are they enough to keep Saudi Arabia from continued nuclear proliferation? Or do we need an international agency like the IEAE to come in?
It's probably not enough, but I think it could strengthen our relationship with Saudi Arabia
Yeah.
to where Israel isn't as much of a necessity for the United States anymore. Because my biggest argument for why Israel is an important ally for the United States has always been they are the ally in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Like, sure, we're friendly with Saudi Arabia or the UAE, I guess, but Israel is the one they are fighting battles for us. If we are
fighting battles for them.
Sure. Yes, but like you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like, they are our military ally. They're the ones who are going to be able to do things for us. If we can strengthen our relationship with Saudi Arabia, I think it might allow us to move away from Israel. No.
It could, but that's saying that Saudi Arabia is completely tied to us. Yeah, I don't think it's the case.
Sure.
I think Saudi Arabia is way more independent than we think.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And because, that's where all the Islamic holy sites are. Islamic Christianity, Western they're not capable in the end. Yeah. And so if it ever came down to like religious ideology becoming like a big factor, Saudi Arabia would turn on us in the end. I think that could be. But what does this mean for Iran's continued nuclear civilian capabilities? So what does Iran think about this?
I'm sure they don't like it. No. But it shouldn't affect them in any way. It shouldn't affect our opinion of them in any way. Iran is...
Will this not incentivize Iran to keep, if they have nuclear facilities, to keep these up and running and to not negotiate any deal that has
I think it could incentivize them to negotiate, because it's saying we're open to being your friend. We can help you with things. You just have to let us talk.
But is the United States putting any of these on the table? I don't think they are. I think that when the United States goes to the negotiating table, they're not saying, "Hey, we want to help you enrich your nuclear facilities."
Well, the big controversy of the last agreement was the what was it called? It was the Arab powers funding Iran with like $300 million or something to like get it back up and running and create it, make it out to be a thriving economy. Like, that was the big controversy.
Yeah, but that was civilian infrastructure.
Right. So supposedly that's what they want.
They didn't agree to it.
But it's supposedly what they want. So this should only incentivize them unless they're lying.
I don't know. I think that Iran looks at this and they're like, we can't give up nuclear capabilities at all. Because now a direct enemy of ours, another direct enemy of ours will have nuclear capabilities in the future. And even if there is a ceasefire and they do agree, they might have a secret. I don't see why they wouldn't be still pursuing nuclear capabilities.
Yeah.
I don't know. It would be in Iran's best interest to keep on doing it, even if it's super secret. Now that Saudi Arabia will eventually, unless the United Nations passes more non-proliferation acts and stuff that effectively stops Saudi Arabia from developing weapons from this nuclear technology, the only incentive is for Iran to keep going. So,
well, I think there's good incentive for economic development. It's saying we're willing to play friendly. These countries are willing to play friendly. Look at the benefits you can receive. All you have to do is play friendly.
Now, I think that this does incentivize to other Middle Eastern nations that do not currently have nuclear civilian technology to be like, hey, we can get in with the U.S. But if that's the case and people start doing that, then I think Russia or China will have to act in the Middle East.
Yes, that's probably true.
They will have to act and start saying, hey, we can either cut you a better deal or they're going to start funding Iran more. Because Iran would be the only other nation with civilian infrastructure like that. So I think this just leads to this may lead to more downsides than upsides for now in the long term.
So I don't think it affects the downsides as much as you think it does, because I think China is already looking at the Middle East. I think they can't afford it so much. But I think things are brewing there, and I think this is a matter of getting in
First,
with allies. Yeah, getting in first, getting allies early.
So would you say that this was going to happen? This was going to happen anyways, and the U.S. getting in first gives us the advantage inherently.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I could be convinced. I think so. So does Israel get a pass now
for
having nuclear weapons, developing nuclear infrastructure?
They still have nuclear weapons. Wait, they have nuclear weapons.
Technically, they don't.
What do you mean? What?
You don't know this?
I don't know this.
So, Israel has never admitted to having nuclear weapons.
Really?
They do not allow any nuclear oversight agency into any facility. They don't allow the UN to inspect. They don't allow the International Atomic Energy Agency to inspect anything that they have. They continually deny that they have nuclear weapons, but there's credible evidence to say that they either stole or bought some from France in the early 50s.
In the early 50s?
Or they've had them for a long
France?
time. Yeah. Like that's the whole thing is that for some reason
50s.
For some reason France gave them nuclear weapons.
I don't think this timeline
maybe not in the 50s, maybe in the 70s. But
70s
like
would be reasonable.
But like it was before, the phones and stuff. It was before the 80s. It's a big conspiracy. They claim to not have any, but even Dr. Bennett says that Israel does have nukes. So
yeah, I mean everything I'm googling says it's widely believed they have anywhere from 90 to 400 warheads.
Yeah.
So I wasn't aware that they even denied it. I thought it was just
no. They keep on denying it.
This is something I want to look into more. France?
Yes, that's where they got their first ones from.
Okay. I would be looking into.
Have you ever heard of the Samson option?
The
Samson option?
It sounds very familiar.
I'll look it up.
I'll know it once.
So the Samson option is what happens. Supposedly, this was a memo given. I don't even know if it was from the Secretary of State to the Prime Minister of Israel back in whatever. If you're looking it up right now, you don't know this. And it's if Israel gets backed into a corner and they no longer receive any cooperation or any help from the United States or any of the European powers, the Samson option is using their nukes and just nuking everybody.
So, but isn't this the idea or plan that like all nuclear countries have? Because that's what deters countries from using nuclear weapons, like mutually assured destruction. Like the reason the U.S. and USSR never nuked each other is because they would do this. That's not anything different.
Yeah, but I was just like, would the Samson option even be a real document if they didn't have nukes?
I mean, no.
So then why does Israel keep denying this?
I don't know why they keep denying it. I don't know. That's not a question for me.
And then Israel will deny having nukes and then go to the United Nations and say, hey, Iran is not letting the IAEA in their facilities. Whenever Israel doesn't let the IAEA in their facilities because they say, we don't have anything. Guys, we don't have anything.
Right.
You think that's just a good play on statecraft?
I mean,
it's a great play. They've gotten away with it.
Yeah,
I think it's a great play.
I don't mind it. It's fine. Fine by me.
Fine for now.
Yeah.
Until they nuke Iran because we're not getting anywhere.
They won it.
What would happen? What would happen if Israel did nuke Iran?
Well, someone would send nukes after them.
Yeah.
I think you could argue literally any nuclear superpower would do it. But someone would.
Yeah. I don't know. If Israel nuked Iran and only Iran, there would be huge condemnation. But I don't think Russia or China would take the chance.
No one would let them get away with it.
If they nuked Israel, America would just blow up the entire. America would just send nukes everywhere and blow up the entire world. So if Israel did strike first, I think that Russia and China would think that the cost is too great, and they would just let it be. They would have to, unless they just want mutually assured destruction on everybody.
I think they'd have to, because otherwise you're saying nukes are a viable option for warfare.
I just think that there's too many people who would look at it and be like, I don't want to die. Too many people in power. That's why we never had a nuclear war in the Cold War, at the height of the Cold War, because enough people were like, I can't. Like,
right, but I think that's what stops Israel from doing it. Once Israel does it, cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
That's the wrong expression. What expression was I looking for?
Cat's out of the bag doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Pandora's box is open. That's what I was really going for. Like someone would have to respond just to make mutually assured destruction true.
Yeah.
Like you could argue some American ally would do it just for the principle of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Surely someone is principled enough to be like, we have to kill everyone now.
Now, what if the U.S. nuked Israel after that? Would that be crazy?
I think it would be crazy, but stranger things have happened. I don't think it's the craziest possibility.
Yeah.
And I think that would be something standing in their way. It's like surely someone would do it.
I don't know. I feel like people are more rational in the.
Well, how many nuclear superpowers are there?
I think there's 9 or 11.
I think it's somewhere in that range also.
It's like Russia, China, North Korea, the U.S., Great Britain, France, maybe 7 or 8.
Okay, this overview says the U.S., Russia, UK, France, China, India, Pakistan, North Korea, and Israel.
Surprising India and Pakistan haven't nuked each other yet.
Yeah, you'd think they'd do it. Out of everyone on the list, I mean.
Now, if India nuked Pakistan, I don't think any major power would get involved.
I think that's true. I think they just destroy each other. Yeah.
I
think they're the only powers that can nuke someone and not end the world by doing it.
Now, what if India nuked North Korea?
Pakistan would nuke India.
Of course.
Just to be like, they used it first.
And then would Russia or China retaliate?
I don't know. Someone would have to.
I don't know. China may, if nuclear fallout does occur,
because it'd be too close to China.
It depends on where they nuked, and if it was a tactical nuke or like just a full regular one.
Yeah, that's a good point. China might respond.
China hates India too. China does not like India.
Does anyone really like India?
No.
Like, just even on a personal level, like
I don't think people like the state of India. No.
Does anyone really like Pakistan?
No, of course not. Why? I mean, they make soccer balls.
Right. So, like, would anyone really care?
There would be a lot less H-1B visas. Okay. So this could spike American, domestic wages could go up.
Yeah, IT workers get a real boost in the U.S.
IT workers, doctors,
Yeah.
This could boost the economy.
It could.
If we can't get barrels out of the Strait of Hormuz, we might have to take drastic measures.
Just to invade India,
We take out India, guys. This could work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of wild conquests, invading Canada.
Okay.
Is it really that bad an idea? Because I say it as a joke often, and anytime I give it more thought, I can only come up with one downside.
The United States has become extremely isolated on the world stage.
Would it?
Yes, 1,000%.
You don't think Europe would be like, that's cool?
I think Europe is more right now. Europe likes Canada more than they like the United States.
Exactly, and we'd be Canada.
No, I think that the war would take too long because Canada would just use the Russia strat, and they would just keep going north.
Oh yeah.
And so I feel like they could draw out the war for a while, and then at that point, like what we were talking about last week, with the United States pulling their resources out of NATO, there wouldn't be that much of a tie for all the other EU. Okay, but NATO country attacks a NATO country. Would this be Europe's chance to be like, okay, United States has been dominating us in the economic field. What if we just all ganged up? Russia, come on. China, come on. And like America just gets ganged up upon, just gets destroyed. Like
they wouldn't dare.
I think that could be that would be a likely possibility that could happen.
They wouldn't dare.
We got to think the countries that are going to come first to Canada's defense are going to be the UK and France.
I don't think the UK would.
I think
France would. I think the UK would look at us really confused and not do anything.
I think they would.
They'd be like stunned for years.
Well, think about the stance they took on Ukraine. I think they would take the same stance on Canada.
They didn't invade Russia.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I mean, it's looking like Russia will eventually send bombs into drone infrastructure plants in Germany at some point. I believe that probably will happen sometime in the next 5 years if this war keeps going on.
Really? I don't. Russia is bold, but they're not bold enough. But back to Canada, I think the U.S. invaded Canada. We could make new alliances. You know, it could be a U.S., Israel, Russia superpower alliance against Europe.
So why could we not do that right now? Why could we not? Why do we have to invade Canada for this to happen? We don't have to invade Canada for this to happen. I think that it's more.
Think of the oil.
I think it's more in the United States' interest to form a relationship with Russia than it is to keep a relationship with the European Union. It is much more in the United States' interest for this to ally with Russia. It would be because then it would be the top two superpowers in the world allied together. And literally,
Russia is not top two anymore.
Well, number 3.
I wouldn't say that.
I would say so.
Really?
Yes. Who's number 3? It's not the UK. It's not France. It's not Germany. It's not Canada.
Japan?
No, their economy's terrible. They have no military.
They're dying. Their economy's not bad,
but they don't
their
have
population is.
They don't
dying.
have a military either, so they don't. Sure, we can get cars.
Exactly.
We can get cars and movies and stuff, but like when it comes to like a military like resource alliance, aligning with Russia would be in the United like.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Besides ideology, like if you looked away from ideology, you'd be like the United States and Russia. If they just was like, that would be the best alliance you could make right now. If you were like, hey, if you want to drop oil prices to an all-time low, if you want to drop energy costs to an all-time low, make everything super cheap, it'd be like a trade alliance with Russia would be how you would do that. That could lead to world peace. Or
no.
What if a Russia-United States invasion of China? Could you be convinced?
Could we succeed?
If we have Russia on our side?
Yeah.
If we have Russia, then I think we would have EU. They would have to come. They would have to.
To the defense of China.
No, there's no way. There's no way.
Russia invading anyone else would prove to the European Union that Putin is Hitler 2.0 and he's seeking to invade the rest of the world, and they would go ballistic.
Yeah, but they wouldn't. It's either they would stay completely out of it, or they would be like, I guess we have to side with the United States. I mean, we have to.
They're our military. I mean,
yeah, I mean, they're all we have. So
that's a good point.
It's not like Europe's going to send boats over the Atlantic for us invading China. That's not going to happen. That's seriously not going to happen.
You never know.
Okay, on to our next topic.
Speaking of boats, the Odyssey. It sparked a big divide amongst conservatives, specifically Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh at the Daily Wire. Matt Walsh thinks it's a liberal, woke filth, a slop. Why is he so wrong?
Man, I think he was looking for this to be woke slop.
Yeah.
I think that he went to the movie, wasn't saying, hey, I'm going to go to the movie theater, I'm going to enjoy this movie. No, I'm going to peer, and I'm going to project woke slop onto this movie. Because I don't think the premise of this movie is woke slop at all.
Right.
You could say the casting, but that's just the world we live in right now.
Right.
Like seriously, that's just the world we live in. I mean, if you're gonna go into every movie and say it's woke slop because they cast it, every movie's woke slop because it's Hollywood.
Exactly.
And you live a miserable life doing that because you don't enjoy anything, you know. And so with Matt Walsh doing that, it just seems like it's pathetic. Like, and it could have been him too trying to clickbait.
It must be because
You know.
he's such a troll. Like
Yeah.
Matt Walsh is probably my favorite conservative
Mm.
commentator at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably my favorite to watch. He's really funny, and he says outrageous things with such confidence. But like this is too far for me.
Yeah. Do you think that this is his worst take of all time?
Yes,
Yeah.
so easily.
Yeah.
So like he's said some things that I disagree with. Anything political he said I disagree with is like him being a little too authoritarian.
Mm-hmm.
But I disagree with his takes about movies all the time.
Mm.
Like he has awful takes on Star Wars, awful take. Like I'm just questioning. Like, is he watching the same movies I am?
I don't think he. I honestly even doubt if he even watched the movie.
Right.
I can see him just going and being like, okay, well, this is who was casted for this movie. This is why this movie is terrible.
He bought a ticket to be like, see, I watched it. He just like played on his phone the whole time.
I don't remember the exact tweet, but didn't he say something about like the lighting being, or like he said the dialogue was like the worst dialogue he's ever heard, which is like that's not true.
That's insane.
That's insane.
That's the best dialogue I have ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
I like the only thing that stops the Odyssey from being a 10 out of 10 movie in my mind and being up there with The Empire Strikes Back and The Godfather is the casting. Mm-hmm. Like that's the only thing.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how Matt
the casting besides the top 5 characters.
Right. Yeah. Only Ellen Page in my mind. Yeah. I don't care about any of the. I think Zendaya was good. I think the Black Helen was pretty good. I think like I don't care about any of the other race swapping. Like Ellen Page is the only thing that I think was bad.
Okay.
And it's like I don't know how you watch a movie that's so conservative and come away being like this was woke slop, because it's against the abuse of immigration and illegal immigration. It's about how you need to be true and honest and like good in society. It's about how you need to uphold social norms. It's about societal cohesion. It's about how religion and faith are important and essential to who you are. And when you fight against God, you're only fighting against yourself. Like it's so easily the most conservative movie that's come out in my lifetime. Like so easily,
especially this big of a blockbuster.
Yeah,
too. Like this is the biggest conservative movie ever.
Right? Yeah,
probably
easily.
I mean, this is probably one of the most conservative things that's ever came out of Hollywood.
Yeah,
ever. I mean, come on. Like besides Passion of the Christ. I mean,
right.
Which I mean,
and even then, you
Passion of the Christ transcends political ideology at the same time. So
yeah, but even then, within like conservative Christian groups, you could always make the image of God argument that this is actually really liberal because it depicts God.
Yeah,
and so like this is the most conservative movie that has come out in my lifetime. Like so, and I just don't know how Matt Walsh got to the woke slop conclusion.
I think it had to have been. I have to say something different. We live in this world where when you say the most outrageous thing, you get the most clicks.
Right.
And this is just another opportunity for him to get clicks. You know, regardless if people like him or not, saying something ridiculous gets you out there more, gets you more promotion. And in today's world of social media, that's the name of the game. That's the ticket. That's your money. That's literally what pays you.
Right.
And so, man, do we question what his motivations are after this? Or
I mean,
because if he's out here doing this,
I think he's doing it for fun. I don't think he's doing it for influence.
I would say opposite. I would say this is completely for influence. And once you see somebody do this against, I mean, this is quite literally a lie. There's no way he's thinking this.
Right, but I think he has. Yeah, I think he just has so much fun with it.
I don't think so.
I think think about What Is a Woman and Am I Racist? The like 2 hit movies he made. They're so good, and it's him just like sitting down with people, like really liberal people, and like being really like dry humor, and him having the most fun in the world. Like it's him just like this is what he does. This is what he likes to do for fun. I think this is just him doing it again. I think it's a matter of fun for him.
I would like to see what he says. I would like to see if he comes out on a podcast and likes to explain, because it was just a tweet, and then we heard radio silence.
I think he did an episode on it.
He did?
I think so.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if it would be worth watching.
I'll watch it.
Well, him trying to, because he would have to defend these takes. There's no way he could take it back at this point.
I mean, you have to take it back eventually.
Maybe in like 10 years, I'd be like, guys, my one regret is that actually the Odyssey was pretty good. Actually, it was pretty decent.
I think the Odyssey was a more conservative movie than What Is a Woman, the movie he made. Because
I've never watched it.
Okay, you have to come over to my house sometime. We're gonna watch Am I Racist and What Is a Woman. They're so good. They're so good. It will make you like the Daily Wire probably, because I love the Daily Wire. I know you don't.
Okay, so back to foreign policy. Now that we switched to a little bit of culture, now we're gonna go back to foreign policy. So on Tuesday, I forgot which House congressional hearing it was, but Pete Hegseth was called to testify. And he came out with an official number of how much the Iran war has cost the United States. And he estimates that the cost of war was, at right now, $37.5 billion. Okay? So, does this number give Democrats political ammunition heading into the midterms?
Yeah. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say. You can rant about this for a while.
I know he probably had to answer this question. Mm-hmm. But he should have probably, like, coming from a Republican perspective, the more that we emphasize how much this is costing, Americans are going to look at this and be like, I don't want to pay this.
Yeah. I
don't want to pay this. And this is a shot in the I think this is a shot in the foot to the Republican cause, because Donald Trump is also asking for what is it, $87.6 billion emergency supplemental from Congress, plus the $1.5 trillion NDAA. I don't think either of these. Okay, the supplemental will definitely not get passed.
Oh yeah,
it's not going to happen. Trump will not get $87 million. In the NDAA,
I think it could pass.
It could pass.
I think it could pass.
But no NDAA is passed before like October. So if the war is still going on and it's still bad headlines, bad publicity, I see it getting pushed till after the midterms. And if it's a bad midterms for Republicans, the NDAA will get passed. It will not be anywhere near close to $1 trillion. I think it'll be less. I think it'll increase. I think it'll be $900 billion. I don't think it'll be anywhere over $1 trillion with Democrats in power. And so it'll take time, but the more this number increases, the more that the left has ammunition, and the more this is going to help them in the midterms. And the more that I see that this war is not going to end through a resolution between Iran and the United States, is going to be a withdrawal. Because once the Democrats hold power, they're either going to hold out until they get a president and then withdraw like we did in Afghanistan, or they're going to remove funding completely from Donald Trump, and we're not. There's going to be no military capabilities. In the Middle East.
That's the best argument for withdrawal. It's that a Democrat will come in and do it hastily, and it'll be a disaster. And so we should do it now, but slowly to get us out on good terms.
Especially if the whole big thing is that we could probably make a better effort in this war if we had funding, but it's not gonna happen. Especially with our earlier topic where we talked about the condemnation. Congress is not gonna pass a supplemental unless there is some kind of false flag attack or some kind of domestic attack, like 9/11, like another 9/11 happens. I don't see this happening, and so the only way that this war can end is through withdrawal. I think that's what we're going to see.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
And it's going to happen either in December or in 2028. Because either they're going to pass the NDAA and completely withdraw funding for Trump and he'll have to withdraw, or they're going to wait till the next president. Yeah. And that's all they're going to run on in the 2028 election. And I would hope Republicans don't put up somebody who's good. Because even if they put up like their best right now is J.D. Vance.
I would argue Ron DeSantis still.
I don't think he'd win over J.D. Vance.
I don't think he would either, but I'm still going to support
J.D. Vance is actually at the beginning of the war, he was against going into Iran. So I would say that's Republicans'
less
best.
Excited is what Trump said, I think.
Well, that's what J.D. Vance came out and said on Joe Rogan. He's like, I was less than excited to go into the Iran war. So, but like, and then he said, once we're in there, I have to be the biggest cheerleader. Is basically what he said.
Right. I respect that so much.
Yeah, that's your job. You can't be out here publicly denouncing the president. You're going to lose your job, kind of thing. And so I could see JD Vance coming out and trying to run and say, hey, like, I'm also going to get us out of here, but in a better, more concerned way. But I don't think it'll be enough. I don't think it'll be enough. That's why, JD Vance could keep running. That's the best option because if they ran Marco Rubio, disaster.
Disaster?
It would be a disaster.
You think it would be a disaster?
It would be a Democrat landslide.
No way.
Marco Rubio is a hawk. And that's not what the American people want right now.
Yeah, that's true.
That is the exact opposite of what people want. Mm-hmm. And so if the GOP ran Marco Rubio, not even because he's not even because he's a good or bad candidate, but because the Democrats would have so much ammunition to be like, hey, you wanted to stay out of wars, right? Well, this is the guy. Mm-hmm. They're going to paint him as the face of the Iran war.
Right, but I think they'll do that with any. I think Republicans could run Tucker Carlson, and the Democrats will paint him as the Iran war guy.
I don't think so.
Because it's so associated with Republicans right now.
I don't think so because Tucker is vehemently against the Iran war.
Right, I know. I was using an extreme example.
They would try, but Tucker Carlson would just be like, "Hey, watch any of my podcasts. Mm-hmm. Like, listen to anything I've ever said, ever." And he would say,
"Not ever."
Listen to anything I've said in the past 2 years.
There we go.
And it would be like, yeah, this guy's actually not for the Iran war. He never was for us getting into the Iran war.
Right, but it's not a matter of. It's a matter of messaging, and any Republican can just stay away from the topic, and that's what will need to happen.
I think that the best possibility for Republicans going in 2028 is that either this war gets resolved, or if it's not resolved, JD Vance runs on resolving the war.
I think we have to just run and ignore it. We have to pretend it's not a thing.
I don't think we can in this news cycle, in this media news cycle. I don't think we can. Because the Democrat strategy is just going to be to push it out as much as possible.
Right, and our strategy has to be push out something that's equally bad with them, like election fraud in New Jersey, which New Jersey just admitted to hundreds of illegals. Thousands registered, hundreds voting, right?
It was like 6,600 illegals were accidentally registered.
Right, accidentally.
And then they said over 400 of them voted in the last 2024 election.
Yeah, this is evidence for needing voter ID. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This can't stand.
Yes.
So things need to happen. Things need to get done. Yes. We need to make sure we need to take a closer look at our elections. We need to pass voter ID, and that's a bigger chance that Republicans win than wrapping up the Iran war. Honestly,
I don't know because I feel like the Republican base has been extremely split.
Yeah,
I feel like more and more people in the Republican Party are becoming nonpartisan because of this Iran war.
Right, but you're as anti-Iran as any of them. Would you vote for a Democrat over Marco Rubio or Nikki Haley?
I would vote independent.
Really?
I think many people would end up voting independent, which would then allow a Democrat to win. Because here's the thing, you couldn't trust anybody. Okay, Trump ran on not getting into any foreign wars, right?
He did not.
Yes, he did.
No, he ran on not unjustly starting a war.
No, that's literally what he said. No new wars was the big thing. I remember that was the slogan.
Not from him.
That was the slogan. No, I remember that was the slogan. I remember. That's why I voted for him. I thought that everybody thought Kamala Harris was gonna get us into the Iran war.
Trump has talked about how he'd like a regime change in Iran since like the early 2000s.
But do you remember his 2015 interview where he's talking to Barack Obama? Or he's talking about Barack Obama?
Yeah, where he's saying...
And he's like, he will get us into the Iran war. This is the stupidest thing ever. He will get us into Iran. He's saying how stupid and how dumb it is. And people have taken that and they said, in 2024, they're like, okay, we elect him. We're already out of Afghanistan. We're nothing new. No more Middle East. No more foreign wars. And then almost immediately, withdraws his promise. We get into a foreign war, almost 2 feet. 2 feet first. We jump in 2 feet first. And I don't think that anybody's going to be able to trust anybody from the Trump administration besides JD Vance. Because I think JD Vance is the only person who could come out in 2028 election and say, hey, I didn't want this. Marco Rubio can't say that. He can't.
Right.
JD Vance is the only one who could come out and condemn the action. I don't know how that's going to work with him being sitting vice president. That's why I'm saying I don't think he'll be able to run on that point, and he would lose. Because I don't think there's any other point he could run on and win the election.
So you wouldn't vote for Marco Rubio if he was the Republican nominee?
No.
Really?
I couldn't. No.
You think it is worse to be in Iran than let someone have the state sponsor abortion, transla kids, all that nonsense domestically? You're more concerned with the money we send abroad than what's happening to children at home?
I wouldn't vote for the Democrat.
I know, but you'd be letting them win.
I would vote for someone who more supports my interests.
Your vote would directly impact the Democratic
in
victory.
the state of Arkansas. I don't think so. I think Marco Rubio would win in a landslide in the state of Arkansas.
Democrats can win Arkansas.
I don't think they can.
They did for a while until
after Bill Clinton.
Yeah, which was a while.
Yeah, but my vote would not count. My vote would not count.
In our district, it probably would.
It wouldn't
in
make
our
a
county.
difference. No, I don't think so. I think too many people are stupid. Too many people are.
No, we're close to the cities here, and we're close enough to have an impact. Your vote would matter.
I mean, Donald Trump won with like 80% in Benton County, so I don't think me changing my vote's gonna change it. He won pretty decisively. Benton County, Washington County is different. Washington County has Fayetteville,
right?
And so it was closer, but it was only like 70%.
But Bentonville and Rogers
are extremely conservative
for
a city in Arkansas. They're conservative.
They're conservative for cities.
But like Gentry, Siloam, Gravette, they're all extremely conservative. Nothing. There wasn't a liberal like. I mean, I wonder if you could even pull up.
Should we edit out the county of Arkansas we live in?
Why does it matter? I have a John Brown University.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think
anything said on the Statesman's table is devoid of our representation of John Brown University. Now that
I have not associated myself with that school in any way, and I won't do so.
That school?
That school. I'll edit that out.
We're almost pretty done. Huh?
Yeah.
Austin, is there anything else you would like to talk about on Statesman's table?
We've covered everything. Covered everything I had in mind. Do you want to talk more about how you think sending billions abroad is more important than protecting your kids or kids in general at home? Because that's all I heard when you said you wouldn't vote for Marco Rubio.
I don't think Marco Rubio would enact my interest. I don't think that it makes a difference what the president is if Congress is both. If Congress is both Democrats. If both houses are controlled by Democrats, it doesn't matter who's president.
So you'd still vote Republican for Congress? For House and Senate?
I don't necessarily agree with Tom Cotton or Steve Womack, but I would vote. I mean, I've seen the people who run against them, and it's pretty bad. So I would definitely vote for Steve Womack and Senator Cotton, but not that I agree with anything that they got, like everything they do. I mean, I contacted Womack the other day, trying to tell him about Section 219 and the NDAA, and I didn't get a response. So.
Yeah.
So, which makes sense because actually Steve Womack did come to our class, and I asked him about all the money that he receives from AIPAC, and he shriveled up like a gremlin and tucked his chin like somebody was coming through his neck or something, even though I was in the back corner of the class. And he was like, all the money that I get is domestic. It's all from domestic hands. There's not a single foreign influence on my politics. And then he went to the next question. He actually went around the entire room after that and was giving out these little like
Israeli stars.
I mean, it was pretty close. It had like the Arkansas state seal, and it had like it didn't have Steve Womack's face on it. It was like a gold like coin or something. And shook everybody's hand besides me. He went right around me to the next person. He was like here, and then he went here, and I was like standing right there. And I was like, okay. I mean, I didn't know that was a big deal for you. I just wanted to know about campaign funding. I asked a campaign funding question. He actually mentioned something about how hard it was to campaign and how hard it was to get funding. And I was like, well, let's go back to that. I mean, I asked him if the real question was, I asked him, I was like, why should AIPAC not be registered under FORA, the Foreign Agents Registration Act? And I said, I'm just asking because you receive so much money from them. How can... So you obviously think that they shouldn't be registered under FORA. And then that's when he did this little neck turn, and which is weird.
That is weird.
It's weird. It's like, and I just seen a thing about this. It was an ex-CIA operative on this podcast. And he was saying that when telling somebody's lying, if they look up like they're thinking about it, they're most likely telling the truth because they want to give a good response. But if they look down, is a defensive response, and they're most likely conjuring up a lie. That's what they. That's
Really?
Yeah. That's what he said the CIA trains them in. So if you're like talking to somebody and they start looking down and to the side or down at their shoes and they start trying to answer a question, or if they look down, they're most likely conjuring up something difficult that's taking a lot more. But if you're asking me something and I'm looking up, I'm trying to recall information I already know that's most likely true. Now, obviously, there's, it's not a 100% thing.
Right. That's something you can control.
Oh, of course. But most people don't control it. They
Right.
act in the unconscious. So,
yeah. All right. I think that's it for today.
That's it for today on Statesman's Table. Stay tuned for next week's episode.